Good morning. Wow, that was fast.
Good morning. Can you tell that we're together?
We're in the same room.
And that I'm not in a dungeon?
Shout out to Rick Drecker for letting us commandeer your office.
Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. My name's Anne.Rossley. I'm here with my dear friend and colleague, Kyle Harvey. We are in the Gold Coast office for Baird & Warner. We're here today to talk about real estate in downtown Chicago.
And I'd like to say that it's early.
It's a good, happy Monday morning.
Good morning. Yes.
All right, let me take my tea bag out of my cup.
All righty. You have a good weekend. You were traveling.
I did. So, I don't know if you know this fact. We were out visiting the Rossleys in Connecticut, my husband's family, and I have a sister-in-law who is in real estate with one of our sister companies and leading real estate companies of the world. Thank you very much. And her name is anne.rossley. How's that for confusing? So
the perfect person to refer clients in that area to.
Exactly right.
Wow.
And she's even with the sister company. So
love that.
Yeah, exactly right. So I was checking out real estate in Connecticut this weekend. So
I don't think I've ever. No, I have been to Connecticut for 2 days, but once in my life I've been to Connecticut.
Yeah.
Actually, I drove a train through it. So yeah,
it's a great state. It's a beautiful state.
It's a beautiful state.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So that's it. But I got back last night, and we decided that, like we talked about it last week, that we were going to try doing the show from the office this time. So if you have seen Kyle and me in person, you know that we normally don't relate this way. Normally, I'm down here and Kyle's up here, but I'm sitting in a booster chair today. So
as we do. Yeah.
That's it.
All
so
right.
Now you have all the inside scoops. Now we're ready to talk about the other scoop, right?
Yes. Let's start with some stats. What do we got?
Let's go.
All righty. I get to see the show behind the show with sitting next to Anne. Ooh-wee.
Okay. So we're going to run through this quickly. We did stats through October last week. Today we're going to talk about stats in a little bit different way, but we're going to start out, like always, looking at mortgage rates. And this is through 2 weeks ago. We were hoping that we had a glimmer of rates decreasing, but this week when I pulled up the stats this morning, the Freddie Mac 30-year fixed rate was 7.08. And the ARM is over 6 again, but we are starting to see a bit of a disparity between the adjustable rate and the fixed rate. Let's hope that continues. All right, let's look at all of the Midwest real estate data numbers. This is a weekly chart. They call it the snapshot. It's last year and this year. Last year's green, this year's in blue. The thing to see here is not so much the ups and downs, but the comparison of the green to the blue, which is the comparison of 2021 to 2022. And you can see that week by week, we have regularly been behind in closings versus last year. Same holds true with listings under contract, a little bit behind last year. But remember, folks, as we all know, last year was a record year. So,
and as we talk about all the time, a huge part of this story is interest rates and their impact on inventory. Let's get through to the other slides, but you're going to see that inventory is way low and has been way low ever since interest rates shot up. So
exactly right.
People still need to buy, and there's nothing to buy.
New listings, 4529 new listings this week.
Versus down 1,000.
Yeah, and the numbers are difficult to read on the screen, but here, June 6th, there were 8,200 new listings. And that's not even the height of the market. So it shows you just how far down we are. Come on, baby. There we go. Almost 45,000 across MRED. And here's the showings. We always talk about showings. That's less of a lagging indicator. This one is normalized to the first week of January.
Mm-hmm.
You can see showings are down.
Showings are way down, but January was hot. But showings are when there's not a lot of inventory and when people are sort of wondering, is this a good time to buy? Showings are down.
Yeah. All right. So now I pulled this up manually. This is November 1st through 14th attached, meaning condos, co-ops, townhomes. Currently, and this is basically the lakefront communities that we always talk about, there are 2,674 condos currently for sale. During the first 2 weeks of November, 286 were under contract, 240 closed, which I think this is a more accurate reflection of what's going on. The number of condos is down, but also pendings and closed are very much down for condos.
Yep, absolutely.
So it's, around 10%, basically.
My own sense is the people who are out in the market right now are people who are paying cash. And that's just such a smaller slice of the market.
You were telling me that as you were preparing for the show, you were looking at single family homes.
Yeah.
You couldn't find anything.
Look at that.
That's why. And we're talking, folks, from South Loop up to Edgewater, including Logan and Westtown. All of those neighborhoods are only 87 homes on the market right now.
That's nothing, people. Nothing.
31 went under contract and 34 closed during the first 2 weeks. But only 87 are for sale for the whole month. I mean, like at this moment in time.
Yeah. Shocking.
Crazy. All right. So if you were thinking maybe now is not a good time to buy, it's a good time to rent, beware. This chart shows how rents have gone up since 1988. So it's what we say all the time. You can pay your own mortgage or you can pay the landlord's mortgage.
And it was interesting. I was working with a renter who so completely needs to buy. But this renter was worried about her job because, all this talk of recession.
Mm-hmm.
And so she says, in this kind of thing, I don't want to be responsible for a mortgage. And so I think people are looking with these higher, and they're not high, comparatively speaking, interest rates, looking for any excuse not to buy because it feels so weird. It feels so unattainable, so risky. And it's, when you look at the rents, it's not.
Right.
Anyway, let's keep going. Excellent. Oh.
Okay. Regardless of your political persuasion, and we are not political, we are apolitical.
Right.
You were mentioning.
Well, the media does talk a lot about recessions. And, they ask it as a question, but the incessant asking of it sort of makes everyone think, well, of course a recession is coming. And the answer is we don't know. Look how well they forecasted the election, huh? Anyway,
yes.
Put that aside. Is a recession around the corner? These are economists, and they say, and it's Wall Street Journal economists, they say 63% think yes in the next 12 months, but that's a whole nother third say no. So
right.
We don't know.
We don't know.
But let's look at what would happen to real estate if there were a recession. In the past, interest rates fall.
Right. Which is what we're all kind of hoping for, right? I mean,
yes.
Yeah.
We don't want a recession. Of course, no one wants a recession. But at the same time, it's not terrible for mortgage rates.
And I don't have the slide up here, but we've said this in the past, that housing prices don't necessarily depreciate in a recession either. 2008 was the anomaly, but most of the time
that was because of
the
bubble of real estate. But also, Chicago has not had the ballooning of property values like a lot of places.
Right.
Oh, hello.
Wait, that was supposed to stop. Okay.
There we go. Hello. So Chicago remains remarkably affordable. I know for a lot of people you think, oh gosh, it's really expensive, and I get it, but it's remarkably affordable as a place to live.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So that's that. Okay.
So what are we doing next?
You want to do architectural styles?
Oh,
okay, let's do this. Okay. So
I love looking at these things. First of all, if you drive around Chicago, there are so many different types of architectural styles to look at. It's great. Okay, lead us.
We are not going to go into the more contemporary styles today. We're just going to talk about some of the historical styles.
Yeah.
The Foursquare, the American Foursquare. And if that doesn't look familiar, what is going on with my, there we go. Okay, an American Foursquare, the whole point of it is you have 4 rooms on each floor. And the floor plans, I don't know about you all, but I love a good
This
floor
is an
plan.
original floor plan.
So you've got a living room, a dining room, a bedroom, and a kitchen. So 4 rooms. And then up top, you've got 4 rooms, 4 square. Get it? 4 square, and the house is square. So that's the concept.
I love it. Go back. 1 bathroom.
I know, right?
Anyway, got to find where that new extra bathroom is going to go. Keep going.
Well, and I will show. Okay. So typically they're symmetrical, square, 2.5 stories. They have an attic or dormer, low hip roof, meaning it's got a point and the 4 come down, and overhangs and a covered front porch like this house.
Pretty.
And they can be in brick or clapboard. Okay. So this is the house we lived in for 20 years. It's a Foursquare. This is what it looked like when we bought it with 20 coats of paint on it in Lakewood, Balmoral. And you talk about 1 bathroom. This house had 1 bathroom on this is the window right here.
Of course it is. That's where it belongs. Yeah.
And the people before us raised 7 children in this house with 1 bathroom. We did a little renovating. We had so much fun. Halloween.
Look at that.
My remains.
Oh my God.
Tom's,
Myra. Do you see it says Myra Maines? Oh my God. So funny.
we had so much fun with this. Anyway, so then we endeavored to do a renovation of the exterior. And this is what it then looked like. And then we didn't hammer stuff into the walls anymore for Halloween. But anyway,
Beautiful.
So Foursquare.
Did you add a bathroom?
We did.
Where'd you put it?
And then we fit, well, so we left the 1 bath on the 2nd floor. We didn't go like big fancy McMansion. We finished this floor, the 3rd floor. That was the master suite. We did a full bath there.
Good.
So we had 1 bath on the 2nd, half bath on the 1st. Yeah, that was it. Now we sold the house and it's since been totally renovated and fancied up. Okay, let's talk bungalows.
I love a bungalow.
Do you see that stat on the bottom? I did not know that.
I totally believe it because there are neighborhoods in Chicago where it's one after another, after another, after another.
Right.
And they didn't we see on a different show, they talk about bungalows that they were started in California and then they came here.
Yeah.
But I love them. And they're so big when you get inside. Go ahead.
They're very fun.
Yeah.
1/3 of the housing stock. Okay. So here's the floor plan. The big living room in the front, but then you typically have 2 or 3 bedrooms on the 1st floor. Here we got the sleeping porch in the back here.
I'm just looking at a house I sold relatively recently, and that is what it looks like.
That floor plan,
today.
exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I love it.
Unchanged.
So here's the octagon. They call them the octagon fronts. Yeah. Yep. Oh, and then the workers' cottage.
Oh, wait. So they have 2 stories. So downstairs, you often have a really good basement with a high ceiling.
Yes.
So it's
it's
living space, and sometimes people will
dormer out.
Yeah,
and
so
and
they
do
end up
it in
being
the attic.
big houses. Okay.
Yep.
Keep going.
Worker cottage. This is like from the 1830s and beyond. This is some of the oldest housing in Chicago. Isn't that a cute one?
Well, that one is brick, or at least
they can be brick or frame.
Yeah, but I grew up in Old Town, and they were mostly frame in Old Town.
Yeah. Because that was old Town.
Yeah.
And so you'll see they range in height. You've got cottage or 2 flat style. They're basic, just an A-frame kind of roof.
The ones in Old Town really didn't have basements. They were just right on the ground.
Right. And that's what this says. No basement for these little ones. So, all right. Brownstones and Greystones. All right. Limestone facade harvested primarily from quarries around Bedford, Indiana, 1890 through the 30s. Single family and multifamily can be brownstones. And you can have different ornamental styles. You know, some can look more Italianate. Some can look more, whatever. Whatever. Okay.
Love this.
So here again is the floor plan. You've got the living room in the front. You've got tiny bedrooms. Look at this, 9'6" by 12, 8'6" by 11. I mean, they were small. Dining room and kitchen are in the back of these. So that's how, and this is typical on a 25-foot lot, what you will see. So, and a row house. Okay, so here are examples of different kinds of brownstones and greystones. You can have a row house. You can have a Victorian Queen Anne
Except for those aren't Greystones. Those are wood.
Right. Right. But these are all
Beautiful.
different from that period.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. So around before 1900.
You'll see a bunch of those in like Logan Square, sometimes in Lincoln Park too.
Yeah.
They're great.
And this is an example.
Oh, yeah.
This is the house I just sold at 4740 Paulina.
I'm so glad that sold. That was a good house.
That was a good house.
Yeah.
I know. All right. Dutch Colonial. That's one I wasn't familiar with until I moved to Chicago.
What neighborhoods tend to have Dutch Colonial?
Well, they're kind of scattered in and throughout. Lakewood Balmoral has some. Old Irving has some.
I don't see those all that much.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
You don't.
But now that I see that, I recognize it. So it's got that little peak. That, almost the triangle peak. Yeah.
Gambrel style gable roof.
Okay,
I copied that.
Okay.
It's not part of my lexicon.
No.
With a nearly full second story,
Yeah.
right? Often have dormers or continuous shed dormers with several windows, okay?
Mm-hmm.
May have a full front with porch. Okay.
Ah,
Prairie Style.
Chicago, Prairie Style.
Exactly right. So we don't see as many of these downtown.
No.
But
a lot of Hyde Park.
Yes.
And the suburbs, like Oak Park has a lot.
Oak Park has
of
great prairie.
Yeah.
These Galler twin houses are on the historic registry. They're actually up in Edgewater.
Yeah. Look at that. Those are great.
Aren't those cool? And here's an example of a single family home in Dearborn Park 2 that's a contemporary version of a Prairie Style.
It's got a whole bunch of styles going there. But you're right. It's got some prairie.
It's got
yes.
the horizontal lines, but it's got more light than a typical.
Yes. Bigger windows.
Yeah. Oh, whoops. I don't mean to go backwards. And of course, I know.
God,
right?
You see it and you're like, Roby House.
Uh-huh.
Beautiful. I actually spent some time in there when I was a kid hanging out with my aunt who worked in that building. She worked at the Bulletin of Atomic Scientists, which was housed in the Roby House. We ran around.
Cool.
It was a dump then, but they've fixed it up.
Yes, they have. It's gorgeous now. Okay, now we're going to talk about Georgian revivals, the 30s through the 60s. I think of the North Park neighborhood when I see these.
Oh, yeah.
Brick exteriors, pretty typical, unadorned except for the shutters.
No shade whatsoever. No overhangs at all.
Right, right. Typical 2 stories, 3-bedroom, 1 bath on the second floor. And then Tudor Revival, same time period, just a different.
Sauganash. I immediately think Sauganash.
Forest Glen, yeah.
Forest Glen, yep. Oh, pretty, yeah.
There are some darling examples of those. Yeah. Okay, Modernist Ranch. This is the 30s through the 60s. Do you see
Forest
these?
Glen,
yeah.
I love those.
Okay, single story, low pitched roof, asymmetrical floor plan. Okay, indoor meets the outdoor. This is when they first got into entertaining at home with the swanky Mad Men kind of like 50s parties, 60s. So they had the patio in the back and the attached garage, which that had to be a huge deal when they first did attached garages, right?
It was a revelation, I think.
Yeah. And here are some examples.
Yeah.
When you think of mid-century modern, you think of this, right?
Absolutely.
And then there's the stepsister, the raised ranch, which was the 40s through the 70s.
With those basements, with a bar in them.
Every
basement has a bar.
The Knotty Pine.
Yes.
And then the bar. Yep. Low-pitched roof, sometimes cantilevered, wood or brick, sometimes decorative shutters. But these are pretty prevalent throughout the city as well. So,
how cool.
What is your favorite style?
So I'm a big believer in living in a multi-unit building, preferably a high-rise. But if I had to have a house, I would have a ranch, not a raised ranch, not a ranch.
Go with the modernist.
With a modern
mid-century. Would you decorate it mid-century?
Probably, because you have to. Yeah. You have to do it. I think it's great looking and it's easier to care for.
Yeah.
I try and get
all
something
on one level.
All on one level, and I try to get something that didn't require a lot of work because I'm a big baby. Proven time and again.
Yeah. Anyway, so part of the point of this is there are so many housing styles in Chicago that are fun. They all have their special things about them.
And, maybe next week we show some modern things that how people are choosing, takeoffs of some of those other styles in the more modern new construction. Let's just show, because some of them are boxes, but some of them are not. Some of them are, evoke these other styles. So let's just look.
Let's look. Okay.
If we don't find anything, we won't.
With the lack of inventory, we'll have to go into Solds.
I'm perfectly happy. Listen,
Okay.
Perfectly
I
happy
love
with
it.
the Solds.
Okay, so now we're going to go to.
So I was minding my own business, trying to play around, and I was looking for pretty properties for you people, because sometimes that's what we need, is a pretty property. And I found 2 really pretty properties, and I'm going to show you the first one inside and then outside. This is 1906 West Newport Avenue, which is Roscoe Village, and it's a cute house. It's 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, on the market for $1,025,000. Taxes about $12,000. So it's not inexpensive.
2 fingers.
You'd be the person. Oh, there we go. So really pretty. It's been redone. Look at those beautiful floors, for heaven's sakes. You do the 2 fingers things. Good Lord. Pretty kitchen, open style. You can see that you can go outside from that. So for the people who need to grill. Pretty bedroom, looks out. As you can see, it's fall, so they didn't listen to us and have their pictures taken during the summertime.
That's right.
Okay, keep going.
Oh, darn it! Wait, I got a
widgets.
problem.
No widgets. Okay,
there we go.
What a nice bathroom! I wanted you to see that the remodel took into account everything. So it's beautiful. Keep going. Next one. Outdoor space, glorious.
Yes.
Okay, now that is the picture. Does that look like a slum?
Yeah.
People, fix your outdoor space. Make it look pretty. Put something pretty in front of it. That's a pot that is empty out there. You want $1 million for this house? Make it look pretty. That's all I have to say. Okay.
Wait, stop. Time out. At the very least, hire us, because we'll virtually make it pretty. Well, you should do it yourself in real life.
At least rake some leaves, people. And yes, we would pretty it up.
We would never put a picture like that out.
Never, ever, ever. And this is a beautiful home, and it's going to sell fast. It's on the private network. Contact us if you're interested. But my gosh. Okay, next.
Okay.
Whew. So this is a house in Winnetka. So I got notified of this cute house because I got some people who are looking in the suburbs. This is a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath house in Hubbard Woods. First of all, look how cute that looks. Do you see the way I'm pointing? You guys can't see.
Here, cursor.
Look at the way they put that pretty planting thing in front of the garage. Doesn't that look inviting?
Well, and I have to say this. I despise garages in the front of a house, but look how nicely they did this.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's darling. And so for some people, they'll sort of turn that into more than a garage. They might make that a garage party space.
Yeah.
Who knows? Okay, keep going. So look how cute this house
that's adorable.
Yes, I would have preferred this in summertime, but with the pumpkins, they made the most of fall pictures.
They sure did. Look how they stage it. Oh, look at the bottles. It's adorable.
I would have toned it down a little bit, but still, it looks great. Pretty kitchen. Yeah. Really, it's not huge, but it looks efficient, and you can eat in.
Yeah.
And look at that basement. Everyone has a basement. Where's the bar? Find the bar.
Oh,
there isn't a bar. It's suburban.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a bar. Chicago would have a bar.
They've got the weights, and they've got the pool table,
and they got the TV, and they got the. Here we go. Yeah. Keep going. And look at that backyard.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. What's that thing?
Is that a fire pit, maybe?
Oh, maybe it is.
In the middle of grass? I don't know.
So that's it. That's what I thought you guys would enjoy looking at when somebody does the pictures right. It doesn't even have to be perfect summertime pictures, but they made the most of the season.
Yeah.
And that'll go fast, really, too. Good. That just went on the market 4 days ago.
Well, you'll have to report back to us and let us know.
And its taxes are only $7,800.
Guess what I heard on the way to the office this morning?
I have no idea. There's so many things you could have heard.
I know. But this one, They are finally done with the property taxes.
Oh my God.
And they are mailing them out today or tomorrow, and they're posting them tomorrow. Maria Papa says, unless there's a glitch.
Uh-huh.
And so they're going to be due December 31st. So if you're not a homeowner, or if you aren't like aware of all this, second installment of property taxes are usually due August 1st.
They come in July, people.
They did not, and this was a triennial year, and they didn't get it all the appeals done and everything. But finally, yes, we're going to know what our taxes are.
Unheard of, people.
Yeah.
Unheard of.
So anyway, so that's that. Anything else that we need to share before we go?
No.
I think that's
This
it.
was fun, everybody. Look at us. We're awake. And we're here in the office.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Get in touch with us if you have questions. We'll be here next week. Yeah, next week before Thanksgiving. We will be here. All right.
Be here.
So we'll see you then. Take care.
Bye.